What was it about 90s anime by the intrusive thinker? I mean, it's simple, the aesthetic, right? I think one of my favorite animes came from the 90s. Monster, right? Monster, the one about the doctor and the boy and how he saved his life and he turned out to be Cowboy Bebop. And one of my favorite animes ever, Hunter x Hunter. Objectively, 2011 through and through looks way better, but certain scenes in the 90s Hunter x Hunter anime just looks mwah, man. I can't even cap. It just mwah.
If I were to ask you what looks better, this or this, what would you choose? Now,
I gotta say, I ain't gonna lie, there is no wrong answer. I already know what you about to say, but objectively, you gotta just be like straight up, objectively, this looks better. This looks 100% better than Yu Yu Hakusho. But Yu Yu Hakusho is perfect in his own way, type of thing, you know.
Or this, what would you choose? Now, there's no right or wrong answer here, but I think for most people, they would choose this.
Exactly.
But for others, it'd be a no-brainer and definitely choose this one, including myself. But this made me wonder, why do some of us tend to gravitate towards 90s anime?
It does look way more simple.
Why do I constantly find myself watching 90s anime like Yu Yu Hakusho or Berserk for the 100th time over the new, fresher, polished anime like Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer? And sometimes I'll say to myself that it's probably just...
I ain't gonna lie, one anime that looked the best was Devilman Crybaby, and I choose that one over the older one any day. I choose that one over pretty much any anime. Like, it fit everything I was looking for, I guess, you know? So crazy, simple sometimes, but also like mad complex other times. Used a lot of color in the right way. I like that colors to be used. I don't know, it was amazing. It was amazing.
And even though I'm sure it plays a big part of it,
was a great
I don't
anime.
think that's all there is to it.
Like, yo,
the
I swear,
aesthetic,
Hunter
the
x Hunter,
attention
like,
to detail, the darker tones and characters. All this, I believe, is what plays a role into why I prefer 90s anime. And all this is done with what's called cell animation, which is 100% hand-drawn animation frame by frame, as opposed to digital animation, what we see today.
Exactly.
And it's
that's
with
why it
digital
can be more
animation
complex, but that's why some people aren't gonna like it. Like, it's way more complex than how simple drawing animation was, you know? Like, 90s anime was way more simple, and that's appealing.
End up with that quote-unquote too perfect look. And due to cell animation being 100% hand-drawn, it's allowed artists to be more creative with attention to detail, flaws and all. With its attention to detail, 90s anime has a unique way of getting you invested in the world and the characters that it's building. Which is why I think there's a reason why so many people, even seeing a screenshot from a 90s anime, makes them want to check it out. Like those lo-fi videos you'll usually find scrolling on YouTube. Take this shot from Princess Mononoke, for example.
That's a wallpaper.
Everything from the attention to detail
amazing.
And the hand-drawn character design.
The more you look at it, the more you see it.
Cloak,
Like, that's beautiful.
The red face paint, the giant wolf beside her, to the beautiful green foliage in the background grabs you and makes you want to find out more about the world. The dark and uneasy vibes that you get from watching Hiei do Dragon of the Darkness Flame, or the horror of the eclipse from the original Berserk, isn't something that could be replicated by digital animation today. Not to knock any of the more recent animes, because their fight scenes do look great in their own right, but it's missing the soul that you get from traditional animation. Look at the huge difference between 1999's Hunter x Hunter versus 2011's Hunter x Hunter. It's literally like watching a completely different anime. You're not getting the same uneasy feeling from Kurapika's...
Exactly. But objectively, 2011 looks better, but like, yo, I keep saying objectively, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like the left one looks better. I can't lie.
Scarlet eyes as you are from the 1999 version.
Facts.
Look at how much more attention to detail and soul there is in the 99 version of when Crollo fights Xena and Silva. You can really tell that the artist put their all into these scenes. As a huge Dragon Ball Z fan, there's a reason I could never bring myself to watch Super, no matter how many people told me it was good.
Nah, that's a fact.
Every time I tried to give it a chance, I could never get past the new art style.
Exactly.
Everything seems so bright and colorful.
That's why I can't do that with One Piece,
for whatever
too.
reason,
like,
had this weird shininess to them.
I was trying to watch,
and to me, it didn't feel like...
what's his name? Like, Garp fighting, I forgot the ice guy name, but I was trying to watch that. I'm like, I can't watch this. Like I just don't like it. I don't like how it looks. It looks nasty to me. It just looked nasty. Like
Dragon Ball, it felt like something
I felt that
completely
Super
different.
Too, but I thought
There's pictures floating around online if Dragon Ball Super had Dragon Ball Z's art style. And man, was it refreshing to see. Like, you can't tell me the current art style looks better than this. Look at how more threatening and menacing Goku Black looks compared to the current version. It felt like with the current art style of Dragon Ball Super that it felt like I was watching
these are kid shows, right?
And I mean, I guess technically
like,
Dragon Ball Super
shows,
is
right?
a kid show.
You know?
But it was just missing that same edge that Dragon Ball Z had.
But
and don't get me started on the character designs in 90s anime. They felt so much more authentic. They felt like the creators really took their time with them. Like, even look at some of these outfits that these characters are wearing. You can't find me anything that comes close to this type of drip in any anime today.
Exactly.
And that's what I consider great character design, where you can take a look at a character and without even knowing anything about them, you could get a glimpse of what their personality might be like. Take Spike Spiegel, for example, from Cowboy Bebop. Just from this shot alone, you could probably get the idea that Spike is probably a cool, laid-back guy. And I always felt entranced by the backgrounds in 90s anime, like the post-apocalyptic city of Tokyo in Akira or the lush forests in Princess Mononoke. I remember watching these for the first time and wishing that I could go inside the TV and explore these worlds.
Exactly.
And as I said before, I could recognize that a lot of my feelings on 90s anime, a good part of it comes from nostalgia. For example, my favorite anime is Yu Yu Hakusho. And sometimes I wonder if that would still be my favorite anime if I never grew up watching it as a kid.
Probably not.
Because I have to admit, there's some parts of Yu Yu Hakusho that didn't age so well.
Exactly.
And I wonder if I somehow erase my memories and rewatch Yu Yu Hakusho today, would I still feel the same way about it? Or would I still be a big fan of Dragon Ball Z if I never had those fond memories of rushing home after school to catch it on Toonami? I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that we look at 90s anime through rose-colored glasses? Because when you really think about it, we only think...
100% yes. It's not as good as you think. 90s anime in general is probably not as good as you think. It's like when I rewatched Full Metal Alchemist. Like, before I'm like, yo, this is one of the greatest things I've ever seen. Rewatching it, I'm like, this is great. This is fantastic. But it's not one of the greatest things I've ever seen anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I rewatched it. I rewatched that thing like 3 times. Death Note too.
Think about the iconic.
It brings it back to earth. It makes it.
Whenever anyone brings up
up
90s anime, they bring up the classics like Cowboy Bebop, Berserk, Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball Z. But we don't really bring up all the bad animes that came out from that era as well.
The trash.
But if you ask me personally, even
today.
taking nostalgia into account, nothing comes close to the soul that 90s anime seems to have. But I'm interested to hearing what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments. Did you think that 90s anime was the best? Do you think that it just looks old and dated? Let me know down below. And besides that, please hit the like and subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Thank you.
This was amazing. But look, I think it's the truth's in the middle. I usually think the truth's in the middle. It's old and outdated, but it's an aesthetic. Like it looks amazing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, like, yo, they just felt it. I get the saying, it felt like there was more care into it. I get that saying, but I don't know if I agree with that. Like, these manga artists, they really care about their craft, and these animators, they care too, to an extent. My favorite series in the whole Dragon Ball franchise was Dragon Ball. Was the first one when Goku was a kid, because it looked amazing. It felt like he cared. Like it felt fresh. Like it looked fresh. Like when Goku turned to an adult, it was Z. Felt like it was more about power up. It was still cool. It was still amazing. But like Dragon Ball, when it was about martial arts, like that was hard to me. You know what I'm saying? Like that was. I love that. I love that. I don't know. I think today, like a lot of things are too big. You know what I'm saying? It's the end of the earth type of, it's end of the world type of stuff. You know. But yeah, I'm out. Like, subscribe to the intrusive thinker. Kind of like, this was an interesting topic to talk about. 90s anime is not just about the aesthetic, it's about the whole process, you know what I'm saying? It's the whole thing. It's the whole thing. But there was definitely a lot of slop into it.